The prosecutors in the Lil Durk case filed a supplemental memorandum in opposition to defendant Banks' motion in limine. Our Durk's team was trying to get rid of OTF evidence like the structure as a gang. Remember the prosecution saying it's a gang and not just a record label. In this document, they say Durk has multiple witnesses against him saying he paid them to murder this person.
The government just revealed they have multiple cooperating witnesses ready to testify against Lil Durk. We're talking about people from his own circle, ready to take the stand in a case where he's facing life in prison.
Multiple cooperating witnesses saying Durk did this. He hired his boys to go kill Quando Rondo in LA, but they killed Quando's cousin or whatever on accident.
According to court documents filed in early 2026, federal prosecutors have lined up witnesses who were allegedly part of the operation. These aren't random people. These are individuals who reportedly know exactly what went down, and they're willing to talk to avoid their own life sentences.
Break this down to us in layman's terms, because you said a lot of words that probably don't mean nothing. Hey, at the end of the day, the feds is saying you are not going to pretend these people don't know each other. They ain't had no relationships with each other before yesterday. Okay? You're not going to sit here and try to act like it's a coincidence all these people was in Cali at one time. That all these people don't have some type of connection to each other prior to this, okay?
This situation involves Lil Durk, one of Chicago's biggest rap stars, facing charges that could put him away forever. The feds came with a case they've been building for years, and now they're revealing just how deep their evidence goes.
The government's proposed evidence also provides critical corroboration of its multiple cooperating witnesses who are anticipated to testify that defendant Banks ordered the violence in Los Angeles, used intermediaries, including defendant Wilson, to recruit others to carry out the scheme and promise a reward for carrying out the murder.
Multiple witnesses, testimony from people who were allegedly there. This isn't just about what happened in 2022. This is about the federal government showing their entire hand before trial.
The victim is a friend of rapper Quando Rondo. The Atlanta-based performer shared this picture on Instagram today. According to the LAPD, the victim was ambushed by 3 men while getting gas on Friday. Video from the scene appears to show Quando Rondo distraught while first responders moved the body. So far, no arrests have been made.
From the moment Durk got arrested in Miami trying to leave the country, people knew this was serious. But now with prosecutors revealing they have cooperating witnesses, the stakes just went even higher. Here's what actually went down with these revelations, what it means for Durk's defense, and why this case is shaking up the entire hip-hop community. Let me break down the charges, the witnesses, and what's really at stake here. Let's start from the beginning. To understand why these cooperating witnesses matter so much, you gotta know who Lil Durk really is and how he got here. Durk Derek Banks, known as Lil Durk, came up in Chicago's drill scene in the early 2010s. He founded OTF, Only the Family, which started as a crew and grew into a full label with artists signed under it. By 2026, Durk had become one of the biggest names in rap, with multiple platinum albums, collaborations with Drake, J. Cole, and nearly every major artist in the game. But Durk's story has always been complicated. He's from the Englewood neighborhood on Chicago's South Side, an area that's seen some of the city's most intense street situations.
If you came to do an interview back then, we'd have been chilling, we'd sit on the porch, we'd have been eating. But now since the violence got so crazy, like we gotta really be on point now. Like I'm saying, it's all about being smart. You gotta be quick.
Yeah, it didn't used to be that violent around here. Like I told you, like when it started going like high school days, when it used to be chasing, then it used to be jump on, then everybody just started playing with guns.
From day one, his music reflected that reality. Songs about loss, about loyalty, about protecting his people at all costs. His fan base connected with that authenticity, and it helped him build an empire.
Lil Durk, are you biologically related to him?
That's my brother. Like, we ain't got the same mother and same father, though, but that's yeah.
How'd you guys meet?
Growing up, same area, hoods, you know how that go.
That's my brother. And we ain't blood, but it's like we blood. You feel me? Like we ain't got the same mom and daddy, but you still my blood brother.
The situation changed in November 2020 when King Von, one of Durk's closest friends and one of OTF's biggest artists, got into an altercation outside a hookah lounge in Atlanta. Von passed away that night, and according to multiple sources including Complex and The Breakfast Club, Quando Rondo's crew was involved in that confrontation. The hip-hop community watched as Durk dealt with losing someone he considered family.
The GBI spent Friday morning collecting evidence after a shooting near the Monaco Hookah Lounge left 2 people dead and 3 others hurt. Investigators say just after 3, Two large, separate groups got into an argument in the parking lot next to the club. They say it turned physical, and the group started to shoot at each other. Two off-duty Atlanta police officers in the area tried to intervene. A gunfire was exchanged, and investigators are working to learn if anyone shot directly at the officers.
Here's where it gets complicated for Durk's current legal situation. After Von's passing, there were rumors and speculation across social media about potential retaliation. Lyrics in Durk's songs were analyzed, Instagram posts were scrutinized, and the feds were reportedly watching everything. According to legal experts who spoke to All Hip Hop, federal investigators had already started building a case connecting dots between social media activity, financial transactions, and alleged criminal activity. Durk had money, fame, and legitimate business opportunities. He'd collaborated with Apple Music, had endorsement deals, and was pulling in millions from streaming and touring. But according to prosecutors, none of that success stopped what they claim was happening behind the scenes. The feds started tracking phone records, financial transfers, and alleged communications between OTF members going back years. By mid-2025, Durk was at the peak of his career. His album Almost Healed had gone platinum, he was touring internationally, and he had business ventures expanding beyond music. On the surface, everything looked like success, but federal investigators were building a case that would change everything. Now, this is when things really popped off. On October 24, 2024, federal agents arrested Lil Durk at a private airport in Miami. According to reports from TMZ and Complex, Durk was allegedly trying to board a private flight when authorities took him into custody. The timing caught everyone's attention. Just hours before, 5 other men allegedly connected to OTF had been arrested in Chicago on related charges. The federal indictment laid out serious allegations. Prosecutors claimed that in August 2022, individuals allegedly associated with OTF traveled to Los Angeles. According to the government's case, there was an alleged confrontation involving Quando Rondo and his crew at a gas station. Quando's cousin, Xavier J. Robinson, known as Lul Pab, was struck during the incident and later passed away. The feds built their case around the claim that this was retaliation for King Von's passing 2 years earlier. Durk was charged with conspiracy, use of interstate facilities to commit activities, and other federal counts. The most serious charge carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. Federal prosecutors allege that Durk and others used interstate commerce, including flights booked on credit cards, to allegedly carry out the plan. That's why it became a federal case instead of state charges. According to court documents reported by Hot New Hip Hop and All Hip Hop, the feds had receipts. Literally, they tracked flight bookings, hotel reservations, car rentals, and credit card transactions. The government claimed they could prove who was where and when, all allegedly funded through accounts connected to OTF and its associates. The incident itself happened on August 19, 2022, at a gas station in Los Angeles. Security footage allegedly captured the confrontation, though that footage hasn't been released publicly. What is known, according to multiple news outlets, is that several individuals allegedly opened fire, and Lul Pab was struck. He later passed away from his injuries. LAPD investigated the case for months before federal authorities took it over, which tells you how serious they viewed the allegations. The 5 men arrested in Chicago alongside Durk's Miami arrest were Kayvon London Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Bryan Lindsay, and Asa Houston. According to federal prosecutors, these individuals allegedly had connections to OTF and allegedly participated in various aspects of the alleged operation. Their arrests happened almost simultaneously with Durk's, suggesting the feds coordinated to grab everyone at once before anyone could flee. The hip-hop community went into shock mode when the arrests happened. Social media exploded within minutes of TMZ breaking the news. Twitter was flooded with reactions from fans, other artists, and industry insiders. Some people expressed disbelief, others pointed to lyrics and social media posts as potential evidence, and many just hoped for the best while fearing the worst. Notably, most major artists stayed quiet. Drake, Jay, Cole, and others who had worked closely with Durk didn't post anything publicly about the arrest. That silence spoke volumes. When someone catches a federal case this serious, even close friends and collaborators have to be careful about what they say publicly. Any statement of support could be twisted or used as evidence of association. The OTF social media accounts went dark. No posts, no statements, nothing. The label's website remained up, but there was no official response from the organization. That's typical in federal cases where lawyers immediately tell everyone involved to stop posting, stop talking, and let the legal process play out. But here's where it gets interesting. According to sources sources who spoke to All Hip Hop, there were concerns within OTF's circle about who might cooperate with authorities. Federal cases create pressure unlike anything else. When you're facing life in prison, the government offers deals, reduced sentences in exchange for testimony. And that's exactly what ended up happening. But that's not even the craziest part. In late 2024 and early 2025, prosecutors filed documents revealing they have multiple cooperating witnesses. According to Hot New Hip Hop and All Hip Hop, these witnesses are individuals who were allegedly involved or had direct knowledge of what went down. The government indicated these witnesses will testify about the alleged planning, the alleged financing, and the alleged execution of events. This revelation changed everything. Durk's defense team now knows that people from inside the alleged operation are willing to take the stand. These aren't outside witnesses who might have seen something from a distance. According to legal filings, these are cooperating individuals who prosecutors claim were part of the alleged activities and have detailed information about who did what. The timing of these revelations is significant. Federal prosecutors usually don't reveal cooperating witnesses until they have to, but showing their hand now serves a purpose. It puts pressure on Durk and his co-defendants. It sends a message that the government's case isn't just based on circumstantial evidence or financial records. They have people ready to testify about specific conversations, specific plans, and specific actions. According to legal expert Megan Cuniff, who covers high-profile cases, cooperating witnesses in federal conspiracy cases are often devastating to the defense. These individuals can describe internal discussions, explain how decisions were made, and provide context that no amount of surveillance or financial records can match. If prosecutors have multiple cooperators, each one corroborates the others, making it harder to dismiss their testimony as lies or deals with the government. The immediate impact on Durk's case is huge. His lawyers now have to prepare for testimony from people who allegedly know details about OTF's operations, about financial transactions, about communications between members. According to sources close to the case who spoke to All Hip Hop exclusively, Durk's legal team is strategizing how to attack the credibility of these cooperating witnesses. Durk remains in federal custody in California. He was denied bond multiple times, with judges citing flight risk and the severity of the charges. According to reports, he attempted to book flights to multiple countries before his arrest, which prosecutors used as evidence he was preparing to flee. That attempt to leave, combined with his financial resources and international connections, made it nearly impossible for his lawyers to secure his release pending trial. The 5 co-defendants arrested in Chicago are also facing serious time. According to court documents, at least one of them has already accepted a plea deal. When co-defendants start pleading guilty, it usually means they're cooperating with prosecutors. Each plea deal potentially adds another witness to the government's case. The business fallout has been equally devastating. Durk's upcoming tour dates were canceled. His label deals are in limbo. Spotify and Apple Music haven't removed his music, but there's been no new releases or promotional pushes. The OTF brand, which was expanding into merchandise and other ventures, has essentially frozen all operations. Here's what most people missed in all the headlines about cooperating witnesses. Federal conspiracy charges don't require prosecutors to prove you physically did anything. They just need to prove you agreed to do something and that someone took a step toward making it happen. That's why these cooperating witnesses are so valuable. They can testify about alleged agreements, alleged plans, alleged conversations. Even if Durk never allegedly touched anything or went anywhere, if witnesses say he agreed to or funded alleged activities, that's enough for conspiracy charges. According to legal analysts who spoke to Jai Turner Law, the federal conviction rate sits above 90%. Once you're indicted, the odds are heavily against you. The government doesn't bring cases they think they'll lose. They build for years, gathering evidence, flipping witnesses, documenting everything before they move. The cooperating witnesses likely include people who took plea deals to reduce their own sentences. Federal prosecutors offer serious incentives. If you're facing life in prison and they offer you 10 years for truthful testimony, that's a powerful motivator. The government probably approached multiple defendants with similar offers, and whoever accepted first got the best deals. What makes this case particularly complex is the intersection of rap lyrics and social media with actual alleged criminal activity. Prosecutors have cited Durk's songs in their filings, pointing to lyrics they claim reference the alleged incidents. The argument from the defense is that rap music is art, not confession. But prosecutors argue when lyrics align with alleged real-world events, it becomes evidence of intent and planning. This issue has become a major debate in the legal and hip-hop communities. Bills like Restoring Artistic Protection, or RAPE Act, have been proposed to limit using rap lyrics as evidence, but they haven't become federal law yet. Until then, prosecutors can and will use anything artists put in songs or post online as potential evidence. The financial trail is another massive piece of the government's case. According to court filings, prosecutors tracked credit cards, bank accounts, and financial transactions allegedly connected to OTF and its members. They can allegedly show who paid for flights, who booked hotels, who rented cars. In federal cases, following the money is often how they connect defendants to alleged activities, even if there's no direct physical evidence. The timing of Durk's arrest attempt is also revealing. According to prosecutors, he tried to book flights to multiple international destinations within hours of his co-defendants being arrested in Chicago. That suggests he knew something was coming, whether he was tipped off by someone or just had a feeling. Attempting to flee the country immediately after others got arrested looks terrible for his defense. Sources close to the case told All Hip Hop exclusively that Durk's legal team is preparing a vigorous defense. They plan to challenge the credibility of cooperating witnesses by pointing out their incentives to lie for reduced sentences. They'll argue the financial evidence is circumstantial and doesn't prove criminal intent. They'll fight to keep certain rap lyrics out of evidence as protected artistic expression, but the reality is harsh. With multiple cooperating witnesses, extensive financial records, and surveillance evidence, the government believes they have an overwhelming case. Durk's lawyers are fighting uphill, and everyone involved knows it. The impact on Chicago's rap scene has been significant. OTF represented one of the city's biggest success stories. Durk had made it out, built an empire, and was bringing others with him. Now that entire operation is under federal investigation, and the ripple effects are hitting everyone connected to it. Young artists coming up in Chicago are watching this case closely. It's a harsh lesson about how success in music doesn't protect you from your past or from federal investigations. The feds have resources that local police don't. They can investigate for years without anyone knowing. By the time they move, the case is already built. The contrast between Durk's public success and his current legal situation is stark. He had everything: platinum albums, sold-out tours, collaborations with the biggest names in music, legitimate business ventures. According to Forbes and other outlets, he was earning millions annually from music alone. But prosecutors allege none of that success mattered when it came to alleged loyalty and alleged retaliation. The money angle in Durk's case goes deeper than most people realize. Federal prosecutors have been tracking financial transactions for years, building a paper trail that allegedly connects OTF business accounts to the activities they're charging him with. According to court documents, they've identified specific credit card purchases, wire transfers, and cash withdrawals that they claim funded the alleged operation. This isn't just about street activity anymore. The feds are treating this like a white-collar criminal enterprise wrapped in a hip-hop label. What makes the financial evidence particularly damaging is how detailed it is. Prosecutors allegedly have records showing who bought plane tickets, who paid for rental cars, who booked hotel rooms, all time-stamped and geolocated. In federal conspiracy cases, this kind of financial paper trail can be more powerful than eyewitness testimony because numbers don't lie and receipts don't forget. Defense attorneys can challenge witness credibility, but it's harder to explain away your own credit card being used to book flights to Los Angeles the day before an alleged incident. The ripple effects on the music industry are significant too. Record labels are watching this case closely because it raises questions about liability and association. If an artist on your label catches federal charges, what's your responsibility as the label? Can prosecutors go after label assets? These are conversations happening in boardrooms across the industry right now. Insurance companies that cover tour cancellations and legal issues are reevaluating their policies for hip-hop artists. Streaming platforms have taken notice as well. While Durk's music remains available on Spotify, Apple Music, and other services, there's been internal discussion about how to handle artists facing serious federal charges. Some platforms have created internal guidelines about playlisting and promotional support for artists with pending cases. It's a delicate balance between presumption of innocence and corporate risk management. The broader cultural impact extends beyond just Durk's situation. This case represents a shift in how federal authorities approach hip-hop culture and alleged street connections. They're no longer just targeting street-level operations. They're going after successful artists with mainstream careers using sophisticated financial tracking, social media monitoring, and conspiracy laws to build cases that can take down entire organizations. The message is clear. Success and fame don't provide protection from federal investigation. For aspiring artists watching this case unfold, the lessons are harsh but necessary. Everything you post online can become evidence. Every financial transaction leaves a trail. Every association can be used against you. The line between artistic expression and alleged criminal admission is being tested in courts across the country, and artists are losing those battles more often than winning them. So that's where we're at with this whole situation. As of January 2026, Lil Durk remains in federal custody in California. His trial date hasn't been officially set, but sources expect it sometime in 2026. His co-defendants are facing their own legal battles, with at least one having already accepted a plea deal, according to reports. The revelation about multiple cooperating witnesses has shifted the entire dynamic of the case. Durk's legal team now knows they're fighting not just against financial records and surveillance, but against testimony from people who allegedly were involved. These witnesses can provide details about alleged conversations, alleged planning sessions, alleged financing decisions. That's the kind of evidence juries find compelling. Future and his family continue to stay relatively quiet publicly. There have been no major statements from other artists about the case. The industry is watching and waiting to see how this plays out, but nobody wants to get pulled into a federal investigation by association. Keep your eyes on several things moving forward. First, whether any additional cooperators emerge. If more co-defendants take deals, that adds more witnesses for the prosecution. Second, watch for pre-trial motions from Durk's lawyers trying to exclude evidence, particularly rap lyrics and social media posts. Third, look for any plea deal negotiations between Durk's team and prosecutors. Given the strength of the government's case, there might be discussions about resolving this without going to trial. The stakes couldn't be higher. Durk is facing life in prison if convicted on all charges. That's not a threat or exaggeration. That's the literal maximum sentence under federal sentencing guidelines. Even if his lawyers manage to get some charges dismissed or reduced, he's still looking at decades behind bars if found guilty. The bigger picture here shows how federal enforcement approaches hip-hop and alleged street connections. The feds aren't just going after street-level activity anymore. They're targeting successful artists, using RICO-style conspiracy charges, and building cases that can take down entire organizations. What you say in songs, what you post on Instagram, who you're associated with, all of it can become part of a federal investigation. This case also highlights the ongoing issue about loyalty versus self-preservation. The cooperating witnesses chose to testify rather than face life sentences themselves. In the streets, that's seen as the ultimate betrayal. But when the feds offer you 10 years versus life, the decision becomes about survival. The code of silence breaks down when the consequences are that severe. For Durk, the road ahead is uncertain. He's facing a trial where multiple people from his alleged circle will testify against him. His lawyers will fight hard, but they're working against federal prosecutors who've been building this case for years. The conviction rate speaks for itself. Once the feds move, they usually win. The hip-hop community is grappling with what this means. Durk represented a success story, someone who made it out and brought his people with him. Now he's facing life in prison, and the people he brought with him are testifying against him. It's a harsh reminder that the game has consequences that don't disappear with success. The lessons from Durk's case are clear for anyone paying attention. Federal investigations are thorough, patient, and nearly impossible to beat. They use everything against you. Your words, your money, your associations, your social media. They find the weakest links and flip them with plea deals. By the time you know you're being investigated, it's usually too late. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Durk has a real shot at beating these charges with cooperating witnesses lined up against him? How do you feel about people taking deals to testify? Should rap lyrics be allowed as evidence in criminal cases? Where do you stand on all of this? Drop all your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to know your take on this situation. If this breakdown gave you the full story on Durk's case and what these cooperating witnesses mean for his defense, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell too so you don't miss any updates as this case develops. There's definitely going to be more news coming, and you'll want to be here when it drops. Share this video with anyone who's been following Durk's case or anyone who needs to understand what's really happening with these federal charges. The more people who know the full story, the better conversations we can have about it. And if you want to see more deep dives like this on major hip-hop legal situations, let me know in the comments what cases you want me to break down next. I'm here to give you the facts and the real context behind the headlines, and your support keeps this going. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.